Sardi ki jai. Giri Govardhan ki jai. Jai Gaur Nitai ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi. Hari 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 Bol. Glory to the Samuddin. Hare Krishna. Glory to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Oh Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Jai Raswad Prabhu ki jai.
Words to Sripad Bhakti Madhava Maharaj ki jai.
Jai Dorothy ki jai.
Very good. How are you?
Okay, we miss you.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, you look wonderful. Yeah, you look so
You look like
wonderful.
you've been on vacation. You went to Florida or something?
No, yes.
No, you look like you're tan.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
they're
What
working
is
in this side.
Sunlight. Oh, good.
You have to dry all that.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Do I have to buy it?
No, we're singing. These are singing for singing.
Ah, for singing. Oh, you are lending to me. Okay. My dear Christian, how are you?
Here, what's your yourself, Maharaj?
My dear Carlos,
¿Cómo está?
linda y bella.
We're going to, these are our prayer books.
Okay, which page?
We're going to start on page
Do you want to read along?
38.
You have it for yourself?
Bandana.
Vandana.
Bandana.
Prayers.
Wow, you have a library now.
Yes.
The shelves for library. And librarian also? I am telling her librarian.
A librarian.
Yeah. Librarian, let me take.
That head is wet.
This is empty containers if you need it.
Yeah, put it in.
Moldy.
Yeah, I think we should bring it back and put it in the sun.
I think that was like touching the water.
It was touching the
I
water.
think so because it was wet and it had like a kind of a,
Yeah, there's mold on it.
yeah. Because normally you put like a little water, but it was like
Why
too
was it-
much. It was like touching the water and then
Yeah. I didn't fill that water up. I don't know.
I didn't know. That's why I saw it was like wet. He said, "Ah, but it should not be wet because it damaged."
I don't know.
And then the sun was there, and then yeah, it had to be like humid, but not like so much water. Because
Yeah, I know. Normally in the past it's just been very, very
yeah,
liquid.
because also this is like rice paste, and that can dissolve to the water.
I think if you put that pile sideways, it should make it bigger. It'll fit. Huh?
Everything will fit there, don't worry.
Okay.
Just look at the mirror.
She's a good librarian.
Okay.
Everything.
All right. Page 38. Ondeham
Sri-Guru Sita-Paramalam Sri-Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri-Rupam Sarvajanam Sahana-Raghunatam-Vikantam Sajivanam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pariyavasavitam Krishna-Chaitanya-Devam Sri-Radha Krishna-Padam Sarana-Lalita Shri-Sakam-Vitam-Sha Om Jnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Jana-Shakaya Chakshurunilitam-Jena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Shrimati Guru-Bhagavad-Gita Mahabharita Sada Parva-Parya-Parampara-Prachalita Prayatramutta-Krite Bhakti-Raghunatha-Vihasya Vivitam Sarvashakam-Saram Vande Sri-Guru-Devanatha-Sya Acharya-Vayam Guru-Balista-Supurata Guru-Gunairashisha-Santoshita Chintya-Chintya-Samasta-Vedanipuna Sri-Zubha-Pantavanam Guru-Vidam-Jalam-Maratanam Bhakti-Amritam-Sundaram Vande-Vishnu-Charidya Bhagavad-Prema-Vijagavanam Devam-Diyatam-Suchandavadanam Balar-Kachana-Chitam Sarvananda Purasavekavanam Aregya Vidyabuddhim Sripad Supartilasitam Saraswatanam Varam Banditam Subhalam Veka Saranam Yasishwaram Sriparam Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Nitanodia Vrangaye Bhakti Yoga Yoga Sankirtanam Mahayavati Dinginodara Katandritya Jivanimam Krishna Prema Sudamigana Susam Praprabhum Tavaye Namo Krishnaya Bhagavaduta Murtaye Purangiri Pranavringaya Rathabhavami Sevine Ave Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam
Radharasa
Siddhanidhim Gauravraya Srisesha Vaishnava Vigraham Yaganatha Prabhu Vande Vimalodri Vaishnava Vancha Aparpandurvyacha Eva Sindhuvyacha Patitanam Pavanabhu Vaishnavayo Namo Namaha Chatatamaka Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktatyam Nami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Nami Gulam Sridhamaha Janatam Sato Anuru Mama Magarjati Masarasa Padangoyo Namavanamo Divyaindaranya Kartavamada Srimadhara Simhasanastau Sridhara Srigovinda Devayo Krishnalili Srivaspami Srimanasarasaram Divan Siva Tatatastita Karsamir Sriyati Gopinata Srivestunaha Vindayai Tulasi Deviyai Priyayai Kesava Sicha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namaha Athatanat Mantragada Guru Bhagavatartharam Yasam Jagat Guru Natva Tatvaya Virane Saisa Parikata Sri Guru Bhagavata Omnasavapatamananjayastu Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaurabhaktinanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
5. Amara Jivana Sada Papilata Nahi Papurera Isha Amara Jivana Sada Papilata Nahi Papurera Isha Arera Udvega Diya Jine Kata Diya Jivera Isha Arera Udvega Diya Jine Kata Diya Jivera Isha Anija Sukalagi Bhakti Jaya Hina Swarga Para Nija Sukalagi Bhakti Jaya Hina Swarga Para Ara Sukhe Dukhi Sada Mitya Basi Ara Dukkha Sukha Kara Ara Sukhe Dukhi Sada Mitya Basi Ashesha Kamana Vimahe Mora Koridava Parayana Ashesha Kamana Vimahe Mora Koridava Parayana Madhamata Sada Vishaye Mohita Musa Garba Vishana Madhamata Sada Vishaye Mohita Musa Garba Vishana Nidala Shahata Sukhaye Akaya Yogi Yami verse that you want to discuss? That's a very nice verse, Sripad.
You better to elaborate
Why
more
don't you say something, whatever you want?
about this end verse?
Yes, why not?
Okay. Let me read the verse and
Very nice verse. Which one, Bhakti? No, not from Bhakti Yoga, this is Chaitanya.
Chaitanya Mangala,
Chaitanya Mangala.
Palochanda Thakur.
Palochanda.
They also, well, there's not like a verse, but it probably it's not translated to English. But it say, indeed, this is one of the qualifications of a bona fide spiritual master. He eradicates all misconceptions that one may have collected by means of mental speculation, cultivation of knowledge, or personal taste. So I can elaborate it later, but you can continue more because I'm not an expert in this. But this verse, when I read it, I say, well, but this is a nice verse. Sometimes to read the same book many times, you find more things coming out. So one of these verses say, oh, I didn't see this before. Maybe I read it, but didn't pay attention. But what is very important is like a guru, that when he's qualified, a guru will not ask the disciple, do whatever you want and everything is okay. So the guru tried to correct the person, to correct the disciple according to the Vedic instruction, according to the instruction from the Guru Parampara. So he tried to, because we bring so many experiences from different lives, for many lives, we have experiences that they are part of us, are part of our behavior. So when the Guru sees something that is not the right, he tried to remove the misconceptions. Because he tried to purify the person to be, the person would be able to be a real devotee. It tried to be somebody who can be used for Krishna's service. So one of the misconceptions they say that we collect, they say is mental speculation. A mental speculation, we know, is like a whatever information I get from this life or prior life of different sources, I make something about me, about what I have to do, how I have to behave. So the mental speculation is all the things that we think that they are right or they are proper in my behavior. So Guru will see whatever is right or whatever is not right and try to remove those misconceptions according to his realization. And the second one is and that one is important, is cultivation of knowledge. And what is cultivation of knowledge? We need to think that knowledge is whatever we learn from teachers, from the school, from magazines, from books, from different parts. We try to cultivate all that knowledge and make something that we like in our life. But that cultivation of knowledge, if they don't come from the right source, would be a kind of misconception. We think that we take something from here, something from there, and we put all these misconceptions together, and this is what I believe. Because somebody say, what do you believe about this? They say, oh, I believe this because I read this or I experience that. But the Guru will say, okay, but those conceptions that you have actually will not help you in spiritual life. So they call misconceptions. And that cultivation of knowledge is the cultivation we do, like the ascending process. Like what I get information from books, and from that I try to get Krishna or to get God, like ascending. But actually the real knowledge is the opposite, is descending. The knowledge has to come from the original source, from Krishna, and it can come through the Guru and come to my heart. That is the real knowledge. But the cultivation knowledge I call here is the knowledge I accumulate for different kind of experiences. I try to use it for my spiritual life, and that's also is misconception. It's knowledge, but it's not helping me. That is another misconception that the guru will take. And the third one is about like a taste. Like maybe I have the conception, but I say, well, maybe that is good for you, but for me, no. I like this more. So there is like a kind of taste. I try to assimilate different kind of knowledge, but only for me. But in a spiritual life, we have to know that actually that doesn't help either. Sometimes we have to do things in a spiritual life that maybe it's not our taste. Maybe I don't like it so much. Like for example, if we have to fast one day because it's a special day, maybe it's not my taste, but it's something we have to do. It's like taking a medicine. Maybe the medicine doesn't taste good, but it will help me in some way. So the medicine is for some reason. So it's not the taste I have, is I have to be modified. So that's it. That what I took from this verse from Chaitanya Mangala. It was a devotee, Lord Chandas Thakur, that was a little after the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but was he got instruction from some of the disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this person wrote this book, and I showed it to Sripad Puri Maharaj, and he told me to talk about this today. But I said, well, I will make a initial approach, but you should elaborate a little more because I think that it's better than we can continue.
I think you're being perfect and complete explanation.
I have a question. I have a question.
Yes, ask it.
And yeah, when you were talking, came to my mind, does in your religion the guru could be prophets, or you don't believe in prophets? Like the future.
What prophet means? Somebody that...
Something is going to happen, God is Christmas.
You mean like a prophet is somebody who represents God? Is a prophet? Or
No, not represent, to say that he has visions, that God told him, yeah.
Prophets and teachers, like priests, these are different things.
Yeah, well, I say, and we in my religion, we have prophets that could say
the future?
the messiahs, the future, but the future for the universal future. I don't know, I just say.
Well, we see that
you were like talking, and I say,
we see, we have some gurus that they saw the future, actually. Because Bhakti Thakur said that this chanting of the holy name, even that at that time when he was talking, it was only in India. He said that in the future there will be in every part of the world. He saw that. He have a vision for that. But he doesn't make so much of that vision, but they perceive what is going on.
Yeah,
They can see that. Because also the scripture they have, like Srimad Bhagavatam, they say what is going on even until the end of Kali Yuga, the end of this Yuga. They know what is going on. So all these things are predicted. So person they have some spiritual vision, they receive something about what is going to happen. So in that case, I can say that also they have some prophets. Some people they can do it. But yes, it's like they said that the time is like a river. If you go down the river, you can see the future or can see the past. According to you go to the river to the one side or the other. So it's something like that. The time can be seen, but a person has to be able to do it. But in that case, we can say that yes, there are some people that can see.
Predict.
Yeah.
Thank you, very good.
I have a question. You were saying right guru.
Yes,
You
genuine.
said that right guru. How can you elaborate on this right guru? Because
What is it?
a right guru, he uses.
You want to elaborate something about who is a genuine guru? Who is a right guru?
You said he said the right guru will blah blah, and then again the right guru will say what are you doing right or wrong, and then last time when we met you said that for God there is no right or wrong.
Well, a guru is like a spiritual master, right? That's
Yeah.
like they have different meaning for guru, but guru should be like a spiritual master. So in this time, there are people that they say they are gurus, and there are people that follow those gurus, but they not genuine. Because guru should be somebody like is completely able to liberate their disciple or liberate the person that he's in charge of. So this is actually the meaning of the guru. So some people, they are not able to do that. They are in this material world, they speculate, they know something about the Shastra, but they are not genuine gurus. So when they say a genuine guru or a bona fide guru is a person that actually is a real one, like you say, actually is a person that is able to liberate the disciple or is the person in charge. So
To liberate from what?
from this material life, so the person should not come back to any material life. He can liberate. And when we say liberation, it's a spiritual emancipation.
We are living in the material world.
Yes.
We have to put clothes on.
Yes.
We need to make a living to get food, everything. There are probably just a few gurus who themselves totally left the material world, living somewhere in the mountains or whatever, right?
I didn't hear what you were saying.
So, material world doesn't mean like, because we're in this room, inside a building, inside a town that's kind of urban, it doesn't mean automatically that we're all in the material world. Material is just meaning not seeing reality as it is. And that means not seeing reality entirely as connected to the center, which is Krishna. So when Rasaraj Prabhu, Sripad Rasaraj Prabhu is saying spiritual life, the correct guru is one who can liberate you from the material world, he's saying the proper guru is one who can give you the correct conception of reality, where you're always connecting everything back to the center, back to Krishna. It has nothing to do with living in a mountain or anything like that. So spiritual life is about seeing everything coming back to Krishna. Right? When we're working, yes, we have to put clothes on, no problem. You know, that doesn't affect whether we're in material or spiritual world so much. But what's our consciousness when we're putting the clothes on? Do I want to wear the outfit that makes me look the best today? Or am I just, clothes are something that I kind of have to accept, because if I walked outside naked in society, it wouldn't be such a good reaction. So I can just be humble when I'm getting dressed. I want to cultivate this humility, because this humility is what will help the spiritual practice, you know? So what's the consciousness? It's all about the consciousness.
I think when you
This is what
said,
Maharaj says.
I think when you said, I will put my clothes because when I walked out and the society will judge me, right? I think this is the material world. From my point of view, is that I will put my clothes just to cover myself so that I'm warm, or if it's hot, or only in these terms. Because like if I think like about just what the society thinks of me, I'm going back to the material world.
Not so much, because if you go outside naked and get arrested, and you can't come to have association with the devotees, then your spiritual life will be harmed. So we have to have the proper vision through Guru. What gradation of that kind of vision do I have to have so that I can optimize my spiritual life? If I get arrested for being naked, then I can't come to have association with Puri Maharaj, right?
Well, you're giving a just like a concrete example on a certain day, but we put in clothes every day.
Yeah. But my point is that
Yeah.
the consciousness shouldn't be exploitive, where I want to look my best today. I'm going to wear the pants and the shirt and make me look really cool or look attractive or something like that. That's exploitation. That's looking for some benefit for yourself. That's not thinking about how this is connecting to Krishna, to God, to cultivating this kind of divine consciousness, to this humble life. But when we're just putting clothes on, we know what humble. If someone says, dress humbly or something like that, we dress modestly, right? We know what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to go so deep into the dress part just as much as it's humble. We do it because it is something that we have to do to some level, because we don't want to get arrested if we go outside naked, but we don't want to be exploited. We don't want to try to focus on that and be materialistic minded. And materialistic minded is just thinking about myself as separate from God, to make me look good, to make me get good reaction, or anything like that. A spiritual life is just being centered on God. Everything we're doing is having that kind of consciousness. And when it comes to bhakti, then it's not just, there's a process of association with the Vaishnava, this process of offering our food to the Lord, prasadam, these kind of things. So, proper guru, because this came back from asking about the proper guru, is just who can help us cultivate that consciousness, who can give us the proper association, who's having that proper association themselves. Right? That's one of the ingredients of who's a proper guru, someone who's a part of a bona fide sampradaya. Sampradaya is meaning lineage of gurus. Is their guru bona fide? And you keep on following that process. So, in the instance of Srila Acharya Maharaj, right, who is the current Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mutt, right? We're seeing that he's a bona fide guru, right? He's coming from Srila Govinda Maharaj, who himself was a bona fide guru. He's coming from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. He's coming from Srila Saraswati Thakur, from Bhakti, from Gorkishore Das Babaji. Anyway, the point is we're seeing this bona fide system that is talked about and presented in a way where we can see its lineage back to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is talking to Arjuna, we're seeing it go from this way. And when we're talking to them about how to make these principles in our life so that we can experience what the spiritual life is, not just hear about it and talk about it, but live it. The whole point is to actually shift our existence from material, exploitive, to dedication. This is what Sridhar Maharaj is saying, that we need to live in the dedicated plane of existence. The consciousness is dedication to the divine. And the only way we can do this in this life is to have some teacher who can show us how to do it in a real way. And that's how we can connect to the center in a very real way. We're thinking about the instructions that Guru has given us. I think that's...
It's a change of consciousness. It's all this. It's how you see things. The same thing, for example, to give an example. I don't know anything about art. And I see a painting, I say, okay, looks nice, whatever. But somebody is expert in art will see in a different way. And they will explain me different things about the colors, about the beauty of that painting. They will describe me in different ways because it's an expert in that. So you have practically like a different vision or different consciousness. So the idea is liberate of the material world is not something that we disappear or we get like a ghost or something like that. It's just a change of consciousness. How I see myself, how I see the rest of the world surrounding me, I will see it in a different way. Krishna constantly see everything related to Krishna. And in that way, I will behave. So that's the idea. If the guru is genuine, can make that disciple change the consciousness, how they see different things. All these misconceptions that we say, we'll see it in a different way because they will come with the real knowledge. And then the person can have some conception, the real spiritual conception on himself about this material world. That is the issue.
I also think that the right guru, or you call it, is the one who is not about himself. Because then we know throughout the history that there were so many people who, like, in the name of God, they were actually professing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's like not a guru, it's a cult leader, eventually, right? Because it's only his interests are at stake there. There's nothing about God there. So he uses the concept of God consciousness for his own profit.
Yes.
And then here it becomes like, I'm God, you have to
Yes.
listen to me. I am the God, I speak to you, I'm God.
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
happened many times.
Yeah.
You see many times in the history that happens. Even in the time of Krishna, there was a person who said, I am Krishna.
Mhm.
And he said, well, but, and then the thing is that all that happens not from now, it's all the time. So how we get in contact with a genuine guru? That is difficult. Can I see from a book? I say he's a genuine. Can I check that? And then the explanation for that we received from Srila Bhakti Yoga Maharaj, he said that the explanation for this is the only way to get a real guru is that you have some sukriti. And sukriti is the meaning of sukriti is spiritual merits. Is, for example, to give an example, you want to buy some gold chain, right? And you go in the street, but you don't go to the jewelry. You go to in the street and you say, I have $20 in my pocket, but I want to buy some pure gold, like a chain or something. With $20, would be very hard you find something that is real gold. Somebody might give you something like looks like gold, and maybe it's fake. That happens when you don't have enough sukriti. You don't have a spiritual merits. You will get somebody says a guru, but it's not. It's not genuine. If somebody say, "Oh, follow me, do this and do that," and you will get paradise or heaven or whatever, and you say because you only have $20 in your pocket, you get what you have. But when you have enough sukriti, you can go to a jewelry and buy something genuine. So sukriti is a spiritual merits. How you get so much sukriti? He said because you do some pious activities, you do some service to some devotees in lifetime, start to accumulate life after life. And when you have enough sukriti, then you can get the guru like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, and then you get the real connection. You have enough sukriti to get one person like that. Otherwise, you will get people in the street like you say, oh, I am God, I am this, I am that. But these people, they think they have faith in that person, but it's because they don't have sukriti. They don't have enough. And that's what they happen. So when we talk about the real guru, or genuine guru, or bona fide guru, is a real person, the person that actually can give you that can remove all the misconceptions we have, and it can give you Krishna consciousness. And when you get that, you don't want to change it for anything else. If somebody come to you and they say, no, don't do that, go to me because I am God or whatever, you say, I don't want to waste my time. I know who is real and who is not. I have some consciousness, I have some sukriti, I know where I have to go. And that's what we try to do in Krishna consciousness, is that to try to follow where the real knowledge came from. It's like, for example, you have a wire here, and you say, let me plug this and get some electricity, but it's not plugging anywhere, you don't get electricity. You have to be connected with something until the electrical power, there's some company there, they connect and come to you, and then you get electricity. Otherwise, you connect it, but nothing happens. So the connection is a guru parampara. From guru to another guru to another guru until you go to Krishna. Then you receive the real connection. And that's what we try to do. If, for example, you find somebody and they say, oh, I am the guru, and whatever. He said, who is your guru? I said, no, I don't have any. So where you have the connection? It's like try to plug something in a wire is not connected to anything. It's a waste of time. So the importance of this is because it's a genuine. It's like it has to be genuine. So it's not easy to find it. Not so many people in the world, from 6 billion people who live in this material world, probably a few ones are devotees. The rest are people going
Trying.
here and there. But these people, when they say that they can remove misconception and liberate the person, it's because they remove the misconception. You have a real consciousness. You will see things as you should be. We eat here, we work here, we have to get dressed, we have to live in the city, but you see the things in different way. You see in a different way. It looks like the same, but the consciousness is different. So that's why we try to cultivate consciousness and try to use it in our life. It's not like we finish the program here and then tomorrow I'm going and drink and party, and it makes no sense. If I don't try to follow what I do, it's like just like a fake, like an elephant. They go to the river and throw some water and clean, and when they go out they put dirt again. It's the same thing. So that's not the idea. The idea is to try to live like that. It's not easy, but we try. Yes.
And do you believe in heaven, or do you have heaven or not?
What they call heaven in Christianity is a different conception that we call heaven in Krishna consciousness.
What is your conception?
Heaven, in material life, there is a planet, there are heavenly planets. Why they call it like that, heavenly planet? Because in that planet, people, they don't suffer so much. The body that they have is different. They don't have to get so much sick, and so old age and all this sickness and all these things, they don't have it. So it's like kind of heavenly. But it's also they have to born and they have to die. And it's not permanent. It's only for a time. And then you have to come back. It's for, like, for example, you make a lot of progress you make a lot of good things for other people. You get a good karma. Their reaction is very good. You have a good reactions in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get promotion. You get a better life. In your next life you get better.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to a heavenly planet and then you enjoy more. You don't get so sick and that, but when the spirit, all the thing finished, you have to come back.
And reincarnation
But
and another?
yes, you have to come back. It's like going up and down. If you get heavy, you go down. If you get very light, you go up. It's like a balloon. You put some gas and go up. When you finish the gas, go down. That's we go up and down. But what we saw like a spiritual world is out of this material world. It's permanent, and you don't have to come back.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody, my ignorance. So, and that person is not a guru. It's somebody who normal like me, but is Hindu. I follow Krishna follower. So, okay, the situation was this. My friend lost her son. Who is 40 years old, adult. So we went to visit her to present condolences.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend is Krishna follower, okay, and that person those person are too. Well, we were talking, but the mother was crying and crying for her son and people. And I just told, don't cry. He's in heaven looking at us and smiling with us. My heaven, we go there, but paradise. And she said, thank you, Dorothy. She understood. I mean that he's in heaven and happy life, so why to be crying here? But then I came to my mind, wow, maybe I made a mistake because they die and they go to another person immediately, the reincarnation, so heaven doesn't exist. So I was talking to my friend, this one, and my concern that maybe I opened my big mouth and interrupt her beliefs. So she says, my friend says, no, there are people die in reincarnation and when they die again and reincarnation again until they say 15 times. And after that, they go to heaven.
15 times.
15
Well, I mean,
million.
that's say that name, that's say that name.
15 million times.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't want to keep talking about
Good
So
deal.
in terms of the reincarnation, I watched some documentaries with people, yeah, the whole real reincarnations, and what I got from there, that after a person dies, so the soul goes into another plane, goes to heaven or another planet, and some of them are there longer, some of them are shorter, some could be back to earth in several months. Some in a few years, and some even like 10, 20,
water.
30 years. It's always different. But not immediately. Not immediately, no. They go there.
maybe to purify or something,
I don't know, they just go there.
and stay flying there.
And they there was like Christians call it like heaven. So the soul goes there and the soul is resting there. And some of them are like, oh, it's purifying or whatever, but it's not like, oh, a body is dead, soul separated and went into another one immediately. No.
I thought it was immediately.
No.
The reincarnation was immediately.
You know what they're saying? I don't know what they're talking. You can hear?
This is what like there
Right.
on YouTube there are a lot of documentaries with the people who actually had near-death experiences, or documentaries about young children who remember something that they should not have remembered. And this is what it is when they found a person who he or she is talking about, the age and like that, and it's not instantly into another body and not even like a few days. There is some instances when the soul was resting for several months or like I remember 2 years, and then the soul of the grandpa went into the newborn grandchild. And when that grandchild grew up, started talking. So he said, like, well, I'm your grandfather to his mother. And then he would describe some things, blah, 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 and when they went and checked and said, well, in that house there is like a portrait in the, or some things that only the two people knew, him and his daughter, that he put some, let's say, these glasses in that particular box.
Wow.
Things
Mysterious
like that.
life.
And this is like little children.
Mysterious life.
Hare Krishna. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. I saw online it started at 2, and then in the packet you handed out at the Yoga Fest it said 1.
You met her before?
We met on Sunday at the yoga festival with
Okay.
Carla.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of Carla's
One of
students
Carla's-
and a
one of
Reiki
Carla's people,
practitioner,
okay.
yeah.
Good. You're from Princeton?
I actually just moved to the Somerville area. I'm originally in the Watchung area.
Okay.
I grew up there, moved with my husband to New Brunswick, and then we moved over to Somerville recently.
Very good. Okay, yeah, we usually start about 1 o'clock, and
Yes.
we had Kirtan, and now we read some prayers and things like that. Now we're just having a discussion, speaking about guru, reincarnation, different topics like that. Do you have some familiarity with any of these things?
I mean, I got training in past life regression, so I'm a very big person in reincarnation, actually. I've always believed in like past life regression, reincarnation and everything since like I was little, I could swear I was from the 20s, and my family never understood why, but I felt a connection. And when I took my first past life regression class, I actually met my past life from the 20s. And since then, I'm a very big advocate for it. The other thing which is amazing is my husband grew up with Apache Native Americans. So they're also very big into spirits and like being one with nature. So we both actually have been doing some research. We feel like we have a connection. And now that we're expecting, we feel like she is someone who we know, someone who in our travels we've met. And once she's here, she'll be able to tell us things like we don't know. Like for all we know, she could have been around some event. Like you were saying with the children, there's an article about a young child who remembers being a victim of the Titanic, and he could describe, this was my room, this is where I stood, this was the iceberg, this is what happened, and the mother didn't know how to take it, which is understandable because not many people are open. Like, I'm a very spiritual person, I'm very open about everything, and I do believe that every moment a part of us is sent out to be reincarnated into something else or to help someone and their reincarnation grow. I believe we're not just people who are just born. We are either souls who are still trying to solve something, like something we couldn't like accomplish in our past life, but we come at certain times. Like, you were supposed to help someone, but you couldn't help that person at the time. So instead, you're back now to help someone who has a connection to the past life you were supposed to help. And going forward, so that's always been my belief on the subject, which is people find weird, but I think it's beautiful. And the fact that now I'm in past life regression training and I'm certified to do it, I love opening that up to people because I have a lot of clientele who are wondering about past lives or what's going on in reincarnation, and then they'll have issues. Currently, that suddenly it clicks once they do a session, they go, oh, that's why I see this person and I feel this way. Or this is why I've been making these same mistakes, now I know the way I have to go. So that's like my take on it, is that we're always gonna go through reincarnation or come back to finish something until our soul is at rest. But again, I don't think a soul is ever at rest. I think it's still gonna constantly be one.
I just wonder, you don't mind being...
No, God, no.
Okay.
I actually run a few podcasts where we talk about stuff like this. But our biggest topic is the witch hunt that still goes on for spiritual people, of those of religions. I mean, I feel bad saying this because my father-in-law is a Protestant pastor, but I grew up in a Catholic family. So we talk about people with that type of spirituality like mine, growing up in very strict, this is it, there's no way of going. And we call that the witch hunt phase because that never disappeared. So a lot of people will keep their spirituality confined and then wilt away. Their soul dies slowly until they're exposed to, I really hate to say it, sometimes traumatic events, or someone like us who is spiritual ourselves and can say, it's okay, you're not really turning your back, you're just expanding to who you are as a person. So.
Very nice. So you have you heard of Krishna, or you know anything about
I
Krishna?
have. Actually, I was introduced so I started my spiritual journey at 13. I'm 28. I went through it during a traumatic event. I tried to turn to my faith, which again, I was born a Roman Catholic, and when I went to someone I was taught my whole life could help you, I was told it was my fault for what happened, and that Jesus doesn't let that happen to good people like that. Yeah, it was really lovely. So 13 only said, this is not for me. So I found my path, and then during it I met beautiful families from actually northern India and stuff, and like all over the region who knew about Krishna and Ganesh and all that. So I was around it. I'm not too well versed, but I know enough where I can respect it and honor like especially with the Ganesh festival. I'll bring my little Ganesh and do everything that needs to be done. Put him back. So.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I just decided that was my spiritual journey, to understand everything. So when we met Sunday, I was like, this is perfect, especially because I have a new spiritual being coming. I want her, involved. I want my daughter to understand it's not black and white, and spirituality isn't just in a book.
And because how I feel it, spirituality and religions are two different things.
Oh yes, no, I absolutely agree. I have people ask me, but you're religious if you have spirituality, and I'm like,
That's more of, I think, a modern. That's a
Well,
modern
yeah.
take on what religion and spirituality are supposed to be. Religion is supposed to be a structured way of attaining a spiritual goal, and the spiritual goal is understanding our relationship with the divine reality, with God. And the religion is supposed to be the path that will get you there. So they're not two separate things at all, if we're talking about what they actually are. But the modern take on the two things have created quite a bit of division. Like spirituality in the modern mainstream culture is taken more as, right, I think, I've been around a lot of other communities that are practicing like these native rites and shamanism, Wicca, all these kind of things, and in today's modern culture, spirituality is seen as these kind of offshoots of alternative life paths like shamanism or Wiccan or Reiki spiritual and all these things, which are just showing us different parts of reality, and we believe that that's spiritual, but something that's missing sometimes from those things is that the source of reality is what spirituality is aiming at, God. But because of the word God and the relation with these kind of old presentations of religion, like you said, old school Catholic, and so many other religions, that the word God and the conception of thinking of God kind of became demonized to some people who are now practicing New Age spirituality. But that's the goal of spirituality, is to understand our relationship with God, not as he may have been presented, or God is not just a male, right? Or having Radha and Krishna is the male and feminine aspect of God. But not that the way God was presented in these kind of Victorian old religions, but in a very cohesive way with the rest of reality and the experiences that people go through every day. Not, you're only able to have a relationship with God if you fit this criteria, and if you're not, then if you don't fit that criteria, then you're not fit for a relationship with God or anything like that. In Veda, all communities of people from all different kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of different lifestyles are addressed and given a way to start from where they are and take to this process of bhakti, of devotion and love to God through the association of people who are practicing it themselves, and come to understand what their relationship with God can be and what it is supposed to be as a spiritual being. And then with that comes, very naturally, comes a clear understanding of everything else that is presented in current spirituality, like the Reiki and shamanism and Wiccan and all this. You'll see where that fits in into reality as a whole, but you get a clear understanding of what spirituality is and how it's not actually opposite of religion. They're both, religion and spirituality are getting at understanding reality in a better way, and you can't understand reality unless you're understanding that we have some relationship to the source of that entire reality, because the source of that whole reality is permeating that reality on every level. So any pursuit that we have in one direction is also, is happening because of God's mercy and because of our relationship with God, even if we're unconscious of it. But so we can come to see that spirituality and religion aren't so opposite as it's being presented nowadays.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Because again, since the age of, literally birth, my family's in order to be one with God, you pray, you go to church, you do all your sacraments in the church, you be a good Roman Catholic girl, and God comes to you. And it's really interesting you said that, because when I was 13 and I heard, Jesus doesn't allow it, that's when I went, but that can't be. If I was raised correctly, no matter what, in my Bible that I grew up with, he said he loves everyone. So it didn't matter where you were spiritually or where you sat, peasant, poor, rich. So that's when I went, I don't think this is really the straight path I want. I want to be open to everything, and that's why I'm looking into everything. And I've now expanded my spirituality from a little fishbowl to like a great big ocean of everything. And I think I found more peace realizing that yes, religion is great by the books, but at the same time, to be one with that, you need to be one with yourself and accept that there's other ideas out there, there's other possibilities. And I think this is like the most spiritually healthy I've been my whole life since this journey, than I was just living in a box, because now I can accept everything around me, people's individual ideas, without looking at it and going, you're wrong. So to me, that's me finding my spirituality, that's me being a spiritual person, living the way every God out there, no matter what religion or what you believe in, they accept you as a being, not as a person who does A, B, and C. You are a being. You are a being who thinks, who breathes, who gives life. And we need to expand that to others and help them grow. So it's just as peaceful as we can make this plane or space or whatever people believe in now, we're on in this moment. So.
Sound like you made some progress in your life, spiritually.
Yeah, a lot. So I always recommend it for people, like try. Like just, even if it's, like you said, you know, you're looking into Wicca, look into it. There's other doors, or you try a Reiki session.
Okay.
Don't close your mind.
Have you tried meditation or chanting?
Yes, absolutely. I think that helped me the most after my traumatic
Okay,
experience
great.
was that.
Well, I think the best thing for your daughter to be is the Maha Mantra. You know the Maha Mantra? Maha means great, the great mantra. The Maha Mantra is Hare Krishna mantra.
I've heard of it, but that's why I'm here. I'd like to learn
Yes, sure.
more.
So I think we should all chant Hare Krishna, just to engage you also in chanting. And we'll have one more kirtan. What?
The paper with it. Huh? Paper, they have the Mahamantra.
On paper, yes. So you can follow along.
I have a problem with current religion because their slogan is you are with us or you are against us. That's the thing.
Yeah, I've had friends who are like, you seem more at peace now. Like, how are you at peace? How does nothing bother you? And I was like, because I broke out of my bubble and I decided that's not going to be my change. Like, do I still respect the faith I grew up in? Yeah, but at the same time.
But my mom, she doesn't know that I come over here because every time when I say and mention something, and she's like, oh, you are Russian Orthodox. And I told her once, you know, like what I believe is a person is free to choose whatever spirituality or religion they want to follow.
Yeah.
No, you Russian. And like everyone around me in the family, they go to a different church.
And they're confused and they
And they're
outcast you.
confused and they have tensions and everything, so, and I'm keeping peace with all of them. I am not talking with them about any religious things, not mentioning, like, if I open my mouth and say something or start a conversation, guys are, no, you don't understand, you have to do this. They don't believe in this, you have to believe in this, and blah, 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 blah.
I actually welcome it because my mom is the one who's more curious because she's like, what is this stuff? Because she first found my altar, it had Ganesh, Athena, it just had a mix of deities, and she's like, are you worshiping Satan? And I was like, no, come sit, let's talk. That's the first thing she thought as a Catholic mother. But now she's more open, so when she hears stuff like this, she goes, oh, okay, hippie stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? If that works for you, it's great. But then she'll ask me questions like, oh yeah, does it help? Like, how does it, because I think she's starting her spiritual journey now, getting older, so I'm okay with my family going, well, you're weird. And I'm like, well, here's why I'm weird to you, but, you know, to others, what you do is.
Okay, you've probably done meditation, chanting, just
Yeah.
sitting down and meditating on the mantra. Now, when we do meditation, we do it in a circle, and sing. And we play musical instruments. So this is called Kirtan. You know, there's prayer Vandanam and there's Kirtan. Kirtan is when you do it together with others, with music and singing. And it's a lot easier to meditate when you do it that way. Generally, sometimes when you're meditating, you know, so many thoughts are coming into your mind and you're trying to concentrate and focus, and you're thinking more about how you can make your focus than actually meditating. And in singing, it's very easy to get into the whole thing, put your whole mind, body, emotions, everything into the singing. So you try singing. Now look at the words there. There's basically, you know, the other side. There's basically 3 words, you see? There's Hare, Krishna, and Rama. The first word is Hare. Can you say that?
Hare.
Hare, yeah. It's not hair, Hare.
Hare.
Okay. And then there's Krishna, and then Rama. So we can sing it in that order, Hare Krishna, like that.
And you need to say what Hare means.
Oh, well, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss what it means. Cool.
So I will lead and then you repeat.
Yeah. Once a person says it first, and then everyone else repeats it after him.
I mean, it was really beautiful Sunday. That's why I'm here. I went home to my
Okay,
house, you know,
great.
Hare
Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Chardev Ki Jai. Jai Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Jai Go Premanandi Hari 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 Bo. Jai Nitai Gauranga Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
How do you call these bells?
Huh?
Bells? How do you call these?
These are called kartals. We're living in a time when there's a lot of confusion. That's life. Many people are confused. So many ideas, so many religions, so many things to do, movies to see, things that you can do as far as witchcraft, alchemy, Ayurveda, veganism, vegetarianism, you name it, like that. Go to school, learn economics, learn science, learn astronomy, learn philosophy, learn so many things, right? What do you do? What do people do in their life? What are we supposed to do? So many spiritual paths, so many gods and demigods. That's called the age of confusion, actually. If we try to, deal with all of that in some rational way. So we have to follow somehow something within our heart has to lead us in a particular direction. And which teacher should we listen to? So many people out there teaching, so many YouTube channels, so many Facebook pages, so many books, about all kinds of subjects and all kinds of, all giving different interpretations. And what are we to do? How do we choose among that, all those things, what to do? So, we need help, in other words. A person who's not looking for help and not finding their way, somehow we manage, even though we don't have any help, sometimes we manage, somehow something within us directs us in a certain way. And we may make progress, we may not make progress. Some people become dejected, deluded, and morose, and they don't know what to do with their lives. And they go to drugs or some other form of destructive behavior, or even take their own lives, because they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to find happiness or satisfaction, and they don't know where to look for it either. So in India, there are also many different paths. Path of karma, path of gyan, the path of yoga. And we're practicing what is called bhakti. Bhakti means the path of devotion, path of the heart. So those who are heart-centered, who live their lives from their hearts, who try to follow their hearts, path of bhakti is about that. What do you feel is the right thing? And those who have a sense of God, maybe throughout their whole lives, they have a sense of God, and maybe at some point in their lives they even become disillusioned about that. But who have a family tradition of religious belief, and who have instilled in themselves the idea of God and the ideal of finding God and of serving God and a loving God, they can take to this path of bhakti simply by following their heart. You're asking, how do you know where to turn, where to get good guidance in that process? And that is also a matter of your heart. Following your heart. What does your heart tell you? Is this good? Is this bad? Is this helping me? Is this leading me to the right direction? Is this leading me to the place where I can find some real satisfaction within my heart? Or am I not so happy there and I'm looking for something else? And not knowing where to turn, but somehow or other, if we have that sincere interest to find God, and we understand with all our heart and all our faith that God is there, then they know, without a doubt, that there's help coming from that side too. And they feel that direction is coming to them from that side, and not only from their own endeavors. I don't think anyone expects to ever find in their life a guru, a real genuine guru who can lead us to understanding God, or what is the truth, or what is the ultimate thing that anyone and everyone is searching for. Yet somehow it happens. People do come in